Well, Fresh Bake, the time has come for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout to be arriving at DCA very soon. It's going to be here at the end of the month. And personally, I'm not really looking forward to dealing with the crowds on those days. One of the things that Fresh Bake is not very good at is waiting for 6 hours to do something new. We like to enjoy ourselves at the park, and that's the opposite of enjoying ourselves. However, Disney has provided us with an opportunity to circumvent the 6 hour wait and see it very early. And all it takes is a little cold hard cash. Disney has announced that they're going to be doing a premiere party on the 26th of May for a premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy. You can pay a $150 for access to the attraction. Actually, I think it's access to all of the backlot from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. So what are you going to get for that $150? Well, it sounds like, first of all, you're going to get kind of an all-you-can-eat access to Tower of Terror or to Mission Breakout, whereby you're going to get to ride the ride as many times as you want. There's going to be limited attendance for this event, so it's going to be pretty wide open. I'm guessing maybe a 20-minute wait for each time you want to ride it. So you could ride it half a dozen, 10 times if you wanted. But there's going to be other things to do also. You're going to be able to meet Black Widow, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Interesting. I'm looking forward to the Black Widow thing specifically because it's not very often that we get to meet a female face character in a park, unless you're a princess. I can't think of any others. Well, there's like Moana and things like that, but in the Marvel universe and with the costuming and stuff like that, this is kind of new. I'm curious to find out what kind of reception Black Widow will get as a face character. And I'm sure nobody cares about Hawkeye. Just kidding, Hawkeye fans. What else? Well, there's going to be a DJ and a dance floor. So, everybody's going to get their rave on while they're there. There's also going to be a cosplay sort of showcase. Now, that means you can wear a costume. Normally, you can't do that at Disneyland. You can't wear a costume. But in this case, it's okay. Usual rules apply, though. You can't take pictures with guests. No masks, no weapons, nothing of that sort. And then there's also going to be a panel discussion. Now, that's interesting on a couple of notes. The panel, who's going to be on this panel? They don't say. What is the panel about? Well, I'm guessing it's going to be about the attraction and some of the, details of the story that we're going to be told, or maybe it's the music or something like that. There's going to be 6 different versions of the ride, all based on a song. Basically, there's going to be 6 songs, and each song has its own story attached to it. I don't know if they're all that different. There's going to be changes in the story a little bit based on the song that you catch. So you get to collect what kind of adventure you have, which is something that I really think is a great idea. This is something that I had recommended they do for Soarin'. Give me one show with just the one location, and then you can collect those shows and say, I've been to, Paris, or I've been to Japan, or whatever, and give you one long stretch throughout the country. And then you can collect the shows like that. Similarly, this is how Guardians of the Galaxy is going to work. 6 different songs, 6 different versions of the attraction that you can collect. So that sounds kind of neat, actually. The other question is, where are they going to hold the panel? My first thought was Animation Academy, but they also said they're going to be offering the opportunity for guests to learn how to draw their favorite Marvel character. I'm assuming that's going to be at the Animation Academy, which leaves maybe Hyperion for the panel discussion. That seems like a big venue for this, but it would be available. But really, I want to be in that. I want to be in on that discussion to see how excited they are about this attraction. And I mean that earnestly. Are they really feeling good about this? That's what I want to know. And I guess we're going to find out as well that night because we'll get to ride it. So that's the question. Do we go? Is this a $150 event? I think Ian said it best on Twitter. 1.5 times the cost of a day ticket for 7 hours of Hollywoodland. No one should have to endure that. And that's kind of... The whole time I'm reading about this event, I'm like, God, that sounds cool. And it's an opportunity to to enjoy Tower of Terror or Mission Breakout. I cannot get that name out of my head. To enjoy the attraction and to meet some, characters and to do a panel. And then I realized I don't like Hollywoodland. And to have to pay twice as much on top of my annual pass for 5 hours in a park that I don't like to begin with, or a land I don't like to begin with, that's that's a little bit of tough sledding. So I'm on the fence about whether or not we're going to do that. And by the time I decide, it'll probably be sold out anyway. So maybe Maybe one of you guys can go and let us know how it goes, or maybe Ian will do it for us. I don't know, but yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on really these hard ticket events like that. Actually, $150, which is twice as much as well, not almost twice as much as a single day attendance to DCA. By the way, I should add that $150 that you're paying does include entrance into DCA, or at least into that part of the park. So you don't have to pay your ticket in advance. Now, I already paid mine because I have a pass, so that part of it that doesn't benefit me at all. But it just goes, it's worth saying. Speaking of special events, out of nowhere, Disney has said, hey, how about the Tomorrowland Skyline Experience? Now, I'm not sure what inspired this event, but it sounds kind of cool. From 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., that's just 2 hours, by the way, for those keeping track. And for $45, guests can experience or view the Tomorrowland Skyline from what they're calling a new perspective. Now, details were a little bit sketchy on the initial announcement, where they described it as guests being able to relax on the balcony lounge of the Tomorrowland Expo. Guests will get a dessert package that will include cakes, pies, fruits, and cheese, and more. It's like a meal, but a dessert, so that's kind of awesome. They're calling it an interstellar snack box. Sounds great. And of course, all of this is to be enjoyed while hopefully also getting to see the fireworks show from this balcony lounge, assuming fireworks go off that night. However, today Inside the Magic posted a photo and an update to their story on the same thing, indicating that it is in fact going to be on the upper level of the Innovations building, the top walking area before you go into the building. Now, I found this to be kind of a bummer because when the first announcement came out, the photo was of the old Astro Orbiter people mover, hub, which I thought that'd be a great spot to be able to walk around, and I would love to see Tomorrowland from on top of that area. But obviously it's not safe. There's no guardrails there, but they could easily install something like that, I would have thought. But, in retrospect, it's probably a tricky thing to do. So the most logical place would have been upper floor of the Innovations building. However, that's kind of a bummer because I've already been up there. I've seen the view of Tomorrowland there. It's cool. And, the thing is, you don't actually ever get to see it at night, at least from my memory. It was always closed. The upper level was at night. And I remember, in fact, always wishing I'd like to try and see the fireworks from there. That'd be kind of a cool place to see the fireworks. So in that sense, it is an opportunity to do that, to fulfill that I don't know if it's a bucket list item, but to fulfill that wish to see the fireworks from the Innovations building. So is it worth it? I'm not sure. $45 on top of your regular ticket is a lot for basically, $10 worth of dessert and a view of the fireworks, and it's not a new view, like I said, but still, it's a new view of the fireworks, which is pretty cool. And those bougie couches and stuff look kind of neat. So I think we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna go on June 1st and report our findings at that event. And finally, on that same weekend, Pandora will be opening at Walt Disney World. And I want to talk about that for a little bit because some video has come out, some video and some photos that it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty interesting to see. Hopefully you guys have already seen it before, but I want to talk about it for just a minute. These shots are from some footage that Disney released earlier last week of the Navi River dark ride attraction at Pandora. And this is an animatronic that is super, super fluid. The smoothness rivals that of what we saw of Elsa at Frozen Ever After at Epcot. It's at least as good as that, maybe better. I'm not sure. You can see there's a link to the video to the full. It's a 45-second video Disney released of the full animatronic, and it's pretty spectacular. And the visuals are great too that you can see from that video clip. And then we've got these photos from Inside the Magic, which gives us a really cool tour of Pandora and how it's going to appear. Let's cycle through these photos real quick. These are going to give us just a kind of an example of how this is a real photo, you guys. This is a real photo of the park. This isn't one of the newer ones, but I just wanted to start with this one because that's not concept art. That's the real thing. And then to follow that one up, we've got this one right here, which is how it's going to look more from a guess eye view, as not quite as professional, but still, that's pretty amazing. That's one of the floating rocks of the area. And then this, I don't know what this is or what its purpose is, but you can see it's kind of, I bet you can see a lot of these throughout the park. That's a video camera up there at the top. And then maybe it's a directional sign or something like that telling you, where to find a certain part of the park. I'm not sure, but you just look at the the full details of what they're going to present us. This is an area where guests can walk. Just imagine that. You're gonna walk through Pandora, you guys. You're gonna feel like you're there, right? Doesn't that look like that dude is in Pandora right now? That's amazing. Look at this. Look at that. Is that like not real? Are you kidding? Now, do you touch that? Can we reach that? I don't know. Can you imagine guests putting their hands all over that? I cannot. So I'm guessing that's going to be behind a fence of some kind. But still, that's beautiful. As is this. Now, this is obviously out in the open, so guests will be all over this thing as well. Hopefully, there's no garbage in there within a week. But again, I don't even know. Oh, boy, that is just the level of attention here. This is, by the way, guys, preview of what we can expect for Star Wars Land. They're going to give us this for Avatar, right? This is just general access to the public walking areas. Another cast member in front of a very scenic shot, I'm sure. I'm not sure where this is, if guests are going to be able to walk where he's at. You can see there's a kind of a fancy area behind him. By the way, that's one of the normal standard outfits, costumes for the cast members. So that's how some of them are going to appear. There's going to be a variety of cast members in terms of how they look going through the park. Some of them are going to be maybe Na'vi, I'm not sure. But we're going to see different kinds of cast members, kind of like how we're going to see at Star Wars Land, different kinds of cast members throughout the park. And this here's a shot of one of the restaurants, I believe. And as is this either a restaurant or a gift shop, but my understanding is that they're going to use, because you know how like in the movie Avatar they had those pods that the soldiers operated from, or they worked in, and these are going to be recommissioned pods that have been left behind on Pandora, and then now they're going to be used as restaurants or gift centers. Now let's take a look at the actual food you might get. So this is the interior of probably one of those pods that they've reconfigured to be a restaurant. So this is probably not one of your fancier dining locations. This is kind of like, it looks to me like a Galactic Grill, Tomorrowland Terrace type situation. And here's a brief reference to the thing we discussed in one of our earlier news segments about how you're going to be able to order your meals by phone using the app, and then you either go right to, if you're going to order at the window, go left to pick up your mobile order, which sounds great. Now, what about the food? Well, the food is not going to be burgers and fries. That much we know. Now, I don't know what this stuff is, but it's not burgers and fries. There's information is available about the different kinds of meals being offered or the types of foods, but it's definitely not going to be standard fare. All of this is going to be new to Disney type menu items. And finally, let's take a look at the merchandise and the gift shops and see how that's going to be themed. This is the Wind Traders. Again, very, very well themed. This is very reminiscent of what you find already in Animal Kingdom, in fact. I'm curious to find out how well themed the interiors are going to be, if they'll keep it consistent through, from the entrance and into the shop altogether. This is another view of the same shop we just looked at. And then inside, here's some of your merchandise. Obviously, it's going to be, referencing a lot of the bioluminescent features of the park. And then you've got, I don't know what this thing is, but that's a plush. And this looks like an action figure, a Na'vi action figure. It looks kind of like Gumby to me, but I'm guessing you're going to be able to collect these things. Now, you might recognize this as both a Na'vi tail, but something that we see them selling a lot in the parks at Disneyland now. Tails from, like, I don't know, the White Rabbit or the Cheshire Cat or something like that. But this is a tail that you can wear. And then nearby, you've got some necklaces and a Na'vi bow and arrow, I guess. And now this is interesting. I've never seen a display like this before. This is the face painting area, and they've got it. Instead of just giving you pictures of the faces, they've built these masks that they've painted on, and I think that's a great way to sell this because you can really get a better idea, a 3D idea of how that's going to look on your face. And I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of guests walking around Pandora with one of these faces painted on. I personally wouldn't mind one of them all blue ones myself. And that's our brief look at what's coming up at Pandora at Walt Disney World. I encourage you all to take a look around. Go to Inside the Magic and check out they've got more photos there. They've got some video, and there's more videos out there on YouTube of some of the the sneak peeks of the Na'vi River Dark ride. It looks great. It looks very peaceful and tranquil. And I'm looking forward to seeing some full video of that very, very soon. Hopefully Larry will get that to us right quick, and we'll have a full review of all that for you. But 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks, and we'll be seeing Pandora. We'll be seeing Guardians of the Galaxy, and we'll be doing a Tomorrowland Skyline Experience. And I want your opinions, you guys, on all three of those things. I want to know, how do you feel about these new hard ticket events? How do you feel about paying $150 to get a sneak peek at an attraction like Mission Breakout? How do you feel about paying $45 to walk up to be able to walk around on the second floor of the Interventions building? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, gosh, do I really want to do this? But I do, because I've always wanted to see the fireworks from that area. But what do you feel about that? And then what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far from Pandora? Does this... A lot of people have second guessed the notion of including Avatar or Pandora at a Disney or a Disney park, and if it's going to be good or not. But I tell you what, this is the kind of place that lends itself perfectly for a Disneyland, be that at Walt Disney World or at Disneyland. Pandora is perfectly suited. It's the exact kind of thing you want to be able to live in, and it's a very nice, in my opinion, precursor, advanced preview, if you will, of what we might expect at Star Wars Land. So as always, guys, let us know your feelings in the comments below, and until next time, fresh baked.